Hey, this is Natalie with the Fifth Journey. We're going to be doing a 2-for-1 today. This is actually a new kind of run of projects that I'm doing. I'm doing leaf lard, so I have a local butcher who has contacted me and wanted to cross-promote each other. So he is local, and these are AWA certified hogs, so they're free range. So I had no problem using that. So this is a new recipe using the leaf lard in place of the palm oil. So we're going to go ahead and do two different things. I have, this is Brambleberry's Farmer's Market collection. So I have the avocado, and then I have Cucumber Garden. So these are both green, fresh fragrances. And then these are about 1.75 ounces each, and I'm going to round them out with a kind of a lighter sparkling fig fragrance that will, it's a little bit more fruity, so add just a little bit more fruit to it, because this one just out of the bottle is very green, very kind of weedy smelling, so it does smell good, just smells kind of like a meadow. So we're going to kind of go with those natural looks. Let me grab my lye real quick. In here, it looks pretty nasty. This is cucumber, fresh cucumber with distilled water, and then there's French green clay in there. Now cucumber, when you add the lye, it does turn kind of a bright orange, and then the green obviously toned it down. The orange doesn't come through in the final product, but just so you know. And I did have that frozen, so I didn't scorch it because that's pretty stinky smelling. I'm also going to be going kind of back and forth with this. So with the cucumber, I have some spinach powder that I'm going to be using, as well as some titanium dioxide. I'm going to do an angle pour, let that harden, and then I'm going to go back to the avocado and do that soap, and then come back to the cucumber. So I'm going to work kind of fast. Now for the avocado, I have actual avocado. I went ahead and kind of smushed it up a little bit. I have some dandelion greens that I had done from our yard, and then I have some matcha tea powder that I'm going to use for a pencil line, because this will turn brown, and then I'm going to put some loofah on the top. So with the avocado, I'm going to do a layer of just basically a solid, nice, clean, pretty layer, and then I'm going to do a pencil line with the matcha tea, and then I'm going to do a creamy layer on top. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Going to go to a pretty light trace, then separate the batch in two. Do the cucumber one, just the layer at the angle. I'm not going to put any fragrance, I'm not going to do anything with it, and then set that in this one, and then move on to the other. Okay, I'm going to measure out half of this, and I do have my kids home plus 2 of their friends, so it's going to be just especially loud. That's okay. So I went to just emulsification. And you'll just have to hear them in the background because they're being kids. Did a little bit too much. There we go. Okay, that's where I want to be. So I'm going to come back to this one. Get that out of the way. Blend it up a little bit more. So that is super fluid, and as you saw, I went ahead and blended that up some more, because I wanted it to solidify a bit, harden up a bit. Okay, so I've got the cucumber set aside. I'm actually going to put it up here so I don't get stuff mixed up. I'm going to blend this just a hair more. Okay, bring this back out. I'm going to pour a little bit of it into this one, because I'm going to be doing a big layer on the bottom. It's going to be nice and pretty and green, and then I'm going to do a creamier top. So let's do maybe a cup or so, cup and a half. There we go. Actually, I need to put the fragrance in first. So this, well, has a slight acceleration. So you know what I'm going to do? Let's see what we got. Paves well. We can make it work, right? Okay. So I'm going to add the fragrance first. I know I'm kind of going backwards, but that happens. So I need 2 ounces of fragrance. Because here's the thing, I'm going to be putting this on top, and I don't want to, and that's where when I wrap my soaps, the opening is at the top with the wrap, and I don't want to have all the scent in the bottom layer. So I need 2 ounces. Oh, well, look at that, they overfilled it. Okay, well that was supposed to be 1.75 ounces, but that's 2 ounces right there. So I'm not going to be putting the sparkling fig in. I can't talk today. I have those days. Okay, so we'll set this aside. I'm not going to put that in there because I don't want to let too much fragrance in. Okay. Get this out of the way. Hand stir it in. Let's use a spoon. And then we'll pour some in here. That smells really good. And I'm going to be doing all the garden collection with the leaf lard. There's I had about 9 pounds of leaf lard, which I rendered it down to about 7 pounds. And I'm using it in place of the sustainable palm that I use in some recipes, because they can be pretty interchangeable. Of course, you have to change the lye amount. Okay, that's stirred in. Okay, stop right there. Okay, and that's added in. Alright, so I'm going to add my fresh avocado in, and that's really nasty looking. Just going to squeeze it out. And again, sorry about the kids, they're having fun. Okay, put that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put, I think, a teaspoon. I'm going to put 2 in because I want it to be nice and green. Now, the nice thing about the green, the dandelion, is it kind of gives it a little bit of a texture look. Alright, got that rinsed off. Now we're going to go ahead and come back to the cucumber. Kind of going back and forth. So that is still pretty fluid. And, okay, that's the spoon I used for that. Yeah, see, that's still really nice and fluid. Actually, I don't really think I need to probably blend that up anymore. So what I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to do some swirls. I'll do just this color, and then I've got some titanium dioxide, and then I've got the spinach powder that I'll mix in. Okay. So I've got a teaspoon of that. So let's go ahead and do maybe a cup of each. Probably a cup and a half. Let's do a cup first and see where we're at. Yeah, we can do a cup. And you know what? I just realized that I haven't put my fragrance oil in yet. Too many steps in my head. Okay. So what I'm going to do is pour a bunch of that back in, and then let's see, we'll see how much of this we can get in before we hit the color. Oh, there's a little bit, it's okay. Okay. So, I'll mix that in real quick. Okay, now we need to go back, add the fragrance in. So I can't talk today and I'm doing things backwards. That's the way it goes, right? Okay, this one does not discolor and there's no acceleration. So that one's just a little bit shy, about 1.9. That's why you want to go ahead and measure out the fragrances. I mean, unless you're going under and okay with going under, because a lot of times they underfill. Excuse me, not underfill, overfill the bottles. So just a tiny bit. Here we go. Mix that in. There we go. Okay, now I can do this. I'm not sure when it quit recording, sorry, so we're just going to pick up. It's on the side. I mixed in the titanium dioxide and the spinach and then the plain, and I'm doing some fun little swirls. With the different colors. Well, I'm going to pause it because that's taking a little bit to harden up, and that one is. I don't want to pour it on that yet because I'm going to mess up my line. So I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to come back and then we'll pour that in and put some garnish on top. Okay, I got everything cleaned up on that, and this is hardened up enough where I can pour the layer on top. And then I have some shredded vegetable natural loofah that I'm going to put on top for a little texture. So, there's this. Now, since this is still super fluid, I'm actually soaked quite a bit warmer than I have been in the past, because I'm going to actually be doing another batch after this. I'm soaking at about 120 degrees or so. So press that down in there. I'm going to let it sit for maybe about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to spritz the top with alcohol, and then I'm going to put it in the oven with the light on so it can come to gel phase, and then we'll come back when it is time to cut. We're back, it's the next day, and it's time to cut the 2 garden fresh scents, so to speak. So we're going to do the cucumber one first. This is the Cucumber Garden, and still just slightly soft because I did end up adding a little bit more cucumber to it, so the liquid content's a little bit higher. We put a little nice little texture on the bottom, and I have that angled layer, and then we have the nice pretty top. So we'll go ahead and cut. I'm hoping we have some good swirls in there. So we're going to go ahead and cut off the ends, and then we'll get the big loaf cutter out to make fast work of it. So let's see. I'm hoping that we have some good swirls in there. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that looks good. And this one, remember we did the, this has the French green clay in it, so does the other one. And then I did spinach powder and then titanium dioxide in this one. Oh, fun. Look at that. And this is not supposed to discolor, so let's hope that it stays that way. Now on this batter, I did, and I don't know if I said it in this one, I think I said it in the other one, but I did 2 loaves of this soap using leaf lard, locally sourced leaf lard, and then after this I made a batch with my normal recipe that really is the same, except I exchanged the same amount of leaf lard for sustainable palm oil. And the one that I did with the palm oil set up a lot faster, and this one, remember, stayed super fluid, but I am not able to cut it just yet because it's still pretty darn soft. So I'll probably not be able to cut that one until tomorrow. Okay, ready? Here we go. Oh, those are good. Look at that. I probably could have done the diagonal just a little bit bigger, but I think that looks really cool. And it has a nice texture on the bottom. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the avocado one. Pick that up. So this is the avocado, and isn't that just a really great green? So this was, the base had the actual avocado in it, and then it was 1/2 of an avocado, and then the dandelion greens powder that I had dehydrated and ground up, and then we have some texture on the bottom as well. And we have the, you can see the brown pencil line a little bit, so it came up on the sides, so that'll be okay. That was the matcha tea, and then on the top, this was just the French green clay, and then we have some of the shredded loofah in there. Now I'm hoping that the shredded loofah stays in place somewhat and doesn't slide out or make a mess of things. So I'm going to go ahead and again slice off the ends, but this will have a nice uniform creamy look hopefully on the inside. Oh yeah. So you've got a little bit of a drag right there. I think it'll be okay. But that's a really nice, clean look. So probably what I'll end up doing is after I cut this, I'll need to smooth that out just a hair because it is, I don't know if you can even see it on, yeah you can. It is pulling out some of the loofah, but that's okay. We'll just smooth it out a little bit because it's still fairly soft. Alright, let's go ahead and cut it. I'm going to cut it this way, so that's the last thing that hits on it. Oh, this one's still kind of soft. And I had already trimmed up the sides before I started the video. Okay, so I felt it hit the loofah. Let's see what it does. Oh, not bad. So see, that was where I cut it with the little one. I've got that little bit of a drag, but I can smooth that out with my finger. But that worked just fine. So we got a little bit of the texture there. Have a really nice pencil line right there. So that's a really clean look. Yeah, that'll be good. Those are really clean looking soaps. So what I'm going to do, clean up the sides. I'll clean this part up. I'm going to bevel the edges and then stamp them. put them on the racks, and then we will come back in, gosh, 5-6 weeks for the final cure. But I think that looks pretty darn good.